Hi, Verbling. My name's Michaela. I'm from Phoenix, Arizona, and today we're talking about conditionals. So we'll be going through the different types of conditionals, how they're conjugated, when to use them, and lots of other great information. If you guys have any questions about anything we go over today, you can definitely let me know here on my Verbling inbox or on my Facebook page. And if you guys are looking for private classes to talk more about this topic or any others, you can check out my schedule on Verbling. I do private tutoring hours as well. If you guys need the notes for class, it's on the page where you click to join in a blue link. Otherwise, you're welcome to share the notes with me and I'll screen share for you. So let's get started talking about conditionals. There we go. Conditionals is definitely a topic people can use continual practice with. It's kind of complex, but with a little review, it should not be hard. We'll start slow and talk about all the kinds of conditionals, and then get more in depth with the grammar of it. Wellington, welcome to class.
Hello.
Hi, Wellington. Good to have you with us today.
Hello.
Can you hear me, Wellington? I'm going to put a message in the chat box for you.
Hello.
Hello, Wellington? Hopefully he fixes his audio trouble. And Mauricio, welcome to class.
Hello, Michaela.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Long time no see you.
Yeah, it has been a long time. There was a period where I wasn't doing that many open classes, and my schedule changed a lot after I moved back to the US. So things have been crazy, but I'm getting back into classes. How have you been? What have you been doing?
Good, good. Now I'm in Canada.
Wow. So you must be really cold.
Yeah, really cold. Yeah, today is around minus 30, but degrees Celsius.
Oh my God. That sounds really cold.
Yeah.
Nothing like the weather in Arizona today. It was, I think, 82 or 83 degrees Fahrenheit, of course. So Celsius, I think that would be something like 20, 28, 29 maybe? Something like that.
29. It's
close
hot.
to there. Yeah, today it got kind of warm here. It was definitely the kind of temperature you sweat in. So it's my favorite kind of winter. It's kind of a warmer winter.
Mm.
Looks like some people are experiencing technical difficulties today. Wellington, are you there?
Yes.
Oh, yay!
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, Wellington. Where are you from?
I'm from Brazil.
Very cool. It's good to have you. And oh my
Yes.
gosh, Mauricio, I love your new picture.
Oh yeah, she is my cat.
It is so, so cute. All right, gotta focus. Distracted by cats. So, today we're talking about conditionals. And let's talk a little bit about what you guys already know. Wellington, can you start and tell me a little bit about what you already know about conditionals?
We need to use. There are three conditionals. The first we use the perfect sorry, we use the future, I think. And the second is to things that is very hard to happen. And the third, I don't remember. Sorry.
Well, this will be a good review for us, but you gave us a lot of good information. Thank you, Wellington.
Thank you.
And Maria, welcome to your second class, or at least your second class with me.
Thank you.
Good to have you back. So tell us what you know about conditionals so far.
Excuse me, I can hear you.
Tell me about what you already know about conditionals.
The conditional change the meaning of the sentence when it start. Sometimes they want one want to do emphasize about the sentence into the sentence. I don't remember more.
That's a good start. Thanks. So we've heard a little bit from Wellington and Maria about what conditionals are. Mauricio, is there anything you want to add before we get into our notes today?
So I think is when a sentence depend of the other sentence. In this case, we have a dependent clause and other dependent clause.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's definitely an important part of conditionals is there's always two clauses, the dependent and the independent, or sometimes they're called the dependent and the subordinate. But let's get into that. So we talked a lot. We're going to do a little review and we're going to get a lot of practice. So we've already mentioned this. The conditional sentence consists of two parts, the dependent, subordinate, if clause, and the main will clause. So this one is sometimes dependent, sometimes subordinate, and then this one is the independent or the main clause. We've got three types, like Wellington mentioned. So let's have Mauricio read about type number 1.
Type 1, the dependent if clause usually indicates a real or possible situation that can happen in the present or in the future, and the main will clause expresses the result of the conditional sentence type 1. Type 1 is often called the real conditional because it is used for real or possibility situation. This situation takes place if a certain conditional is met. The last word is met?
Met.
Okay.
Great. Thanks. Now let's read a little bit about type 2. Wellington, will you read that one for us?
Yes. Type 2. The dependent if indicates a situation that is possible but very unlikely to occur, and the may will clause express the result of the condition. Note, if clauses type 2 usually use where, even if the pronoun is I, he, she, or it. Example, if I were you, I would not do this.
Excellent, thanks. So this is kind of like a new level of irregularity here, and it's good to keep in mind, although it's not a huge problem if you forget and if you say, if I was you, I would not do this. It's okay if you say that, but it sounds a lot less formal. So it kind of sounds like slang or something. It's not a very formal way to say it. If you want to keep it formal and appropriate for, like, say, business conversations, definitely change it to were. And let's read the last one about type number 3. And Maria, will you read that one for us?
Okay. Okay. Type 3. This refers to situation in the past. An action could have happened in the past if a certain condition had been fulfilled. Things were different then. However, we just imagine what would have happened if the situation had been fulfilled.
So the basic summary is in this chart here. Type number 1 is a condition that's possible to fulfill. Type number 2 is a condition that's possible but not likely. So it's in theory it's possible, but it's not very likely. And then the last one, number 3, is a conditional that's not possible to fulfill because it's too late. The situation is already over. There's nothing you can do. So, for instance, if we take a sentence, like if we look down at these examples, the different conditionals give us a very different idea here. In the first one, it says, I will pass the exam if I study. And I'm saying that it's very probable that I'll pass the exam. In sentence number 2, if I say I would pass the exam if I studied, it means that I'm capable of passing the exam, but I don't intend to study. It's not likely that I'm going to pass the exam because I'm not going to study. So it tells a lot about what I'm trying to tell you. If I say I would pass the exam if I studied, someone might say, oh, you're not planning to study? Why aren't you going to study? Because it gives that idea that I don't plan to study. And then the very last one, of course, I would have passed the exam if I had studied. The exam is already over, and we already know that I did not pass. Any questions so far? Okay. We've got another thing here, which is kind of weird because it got cut off. Let me try to fix that for us. It talks about the form, which we're going to see a lot more of below. But the type 1, we use simple present in the if clause, will plus the future, or modal and infinitive in the main clause. So I might say will and then the verb, or I might say might. Might is a modal verb that you could use in this one as well. In type number 2, we use the simple past and then would plus an infinitive. And in type number 3, we use past perfect and would plus have plus the past participle in the main clause. Okay, I know that's a lot of info, so we're going to read a little bit more and get comfortable with this stuff. There's a chart here that also gives you basically every possible combination of these as a full example. So if you guys have any questions, you can definitely look back at that, and that'll help you kind of show you how exactly it's conjugated. And if you notice, some of them had these little stars back up here. These little stars mean that sometimes you can trade would for another modal verb. So we can substitute could or might for would. Should, may, or must are sometimes possible too. Do you guys have any questions about how or why we would change would to something else?
Nope.
All right. Then let's get into some practice. We're going to start by filling in the blank for type number 1. Now in this exercise, I know it looks like there's something that you can click, but you can't. That's just actually a blank. So what you guys are going to have to do is you're going to have to create a verb that fits the blank and conjugate it. It's kind of a tough one because you have to choose a verb that makes sense in the context, and then you also have to conjugate it. But for type 1, it shouldn't be too hard because we're just using the simple present in the if clause and will plus the future in the main clause. So starting with number 1, let's have Mauricio complete that sentence.
If Caroline and Sue maybe make the salad, Philip can stay at the house, and no, makes sense.
Well, you're close. Did you say can stay the house?
Yeah.
All you would really need to add there to make that a good sentence would be stay at the house. So because of the verb you used, we need to add a preposition there. But as long as you add that, you conjugated correctly. So it's possible to say, if Caroline and Sue make the salad, Phil will stay at the house. Awesome. So simple present and will plus the future. Number 2, how about Wellington?
Okay. If Sue cut the onions for the salad, Carolina will make the mushrooms.
And what did you put in the first blank?
Cut.
Okay, so if Sue cuts...
Slice.
Okay. Yeah, both are good as long as you add an S. So slices or cuts. If Sue cuts the onions for the salad, or if Sue slices the onions for the salad, Caroline, and you said will make?
Yes, will make.
Okay. That's okay.
Because it's a plate, right?
Well, mushrooms are cogumelo.
Yeah.
So it could be a plate. When you say, I would say there are better verbs like maybe cook or prepare or something, just because make, it almost sounds like she's going to go grow some mushrooms, right? Like make the mushrooms themselves. But you could say make, because sometimes we use the verb make in replacement for preparing or cooking or something, so it's possible. Okay. Good one. Thank you very much. Number 3, Maria.
Jane stay the sitting room if Aaron and Tim I don't know, clean the furniture.
All right, great. And what was it you put in the first blank? You said Jane.
Jane will stay the sitting room if Aaron and Tim clean the furniture.
Okay, that works as long as you add in the preposition in to the first phrase. So Jane will stay in the sitting room if Aaron and Tim clean the furniture. Great. Well done, Maria. Number 4, back to Mauricio.
So the word up is disturbing me, but I will try. If Bob clean up the kitchen, Anita will go to the toilet.
Okay, good. If Bob cleans, don't forget to put that S on it because it's a singular third person. If Bob cleans up the kitchen, Anita will go to the toilet. And when you say go to the toilet, what do you mean?
Go to bathroom.
Yeah, exactly. So when we say that phrase, we will either say go to the bathroom or use the toilet.
Mm-hmm. In Portuguese, bathroom can be toilet.
Got it. All right. Well, thank you for doing that one. And we've only got one more in type number 1. Wellington, will you do number 5 for us?
Yes. Elaine will prepare the drinks if somebody if Elaine, will you prepare the drinks if somebody bring her take, carry the boxes? If somebody if somebody I don't her carry the bottles. If somebody if somebody help her carry the bottles.
Excellent. Well done. Yeah.
Thank you.
And what did you put in the first blank?
Will you prepare?
Great. So Eleni will prepare the drinks if somebody helps her carry the bottles. Perfect.
Yes.
All right. On to type 2. And just for a little review, type 2 is going to be simple past in the if clause and would plus infinitive in the main clause. Or if you guys want to switch it up, you can try using one of these other modal verbs instead of would, and then we can talk a little bit about what's possible and what's not possible with those. All right, let me make this a little bigger for you guys because I think it's kind of hard to see. Okay, let's start with number 1, Maria.
Okay. I invite all my friends.
So invite is a great verb, but we're missing something there because that's the main clause.
The other verb?
Yeah, we're missing the modal verb for that first blank.
For the first modal verb, I can see all my friends.
No, your original verb was great. I think invite works perfectly.
Okay. I can invite all my friends if I can. Rent a house by the beach.
Okay. That was a pretty good sentence, but you used can twice, and we need to actually switch that out with words that we use with conditionals.
So, okay. Would,
yes.
Cool.
Exactly.
Cool is good?
Yeah, sure. You could say, I could invite all my friends if I rented a house by the beach, or if I had a house by the beach, or something, as long as you use the modal in the first main clause here.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you, Maria. And Alexander, welcome to our conditionals class.
Hi.
Are you ready to jump in?
I'll try.
Okay, go ahead and try number 2, and we'll talk through it if you have any trouble.
Okay. My friends up. If they just. Okay. The gap my friends up in my yard. If they the gap to spend their holidays on my island.
So the second blank is great. You said came to spend, right?
What? Sorry.
You said if they came to spend, right?
No. I said the gap. The gap. Oh, sorry. I said the gap.
The gap?
It's like I don't know what to say yet.
So what verb did you put in the second blank?
If they are able to spend.
Okay, that's a good construction as long as we make it in the simple past because this is type 2. So, and what was the first blank? I blank my friends up in my yacht.
Blank?
If they,
Can I say bring?
yeah.
Yeah, I would bring my friends up in my yacht if they. I'm confused about two.
So you completed that one well. You said we're able. So I would bring my friends up in my yacht if they were able to spend their holidays on my island.
And it would be like the mixed conditions, yeah?
Why?
Because the first part is in the future and the second part in the past.
Yeah, so this is a type number 2 conditional, and we use the simple past in the if clause and the would plus infinitive, or you could also add a different modal there. So, in type number 2,
Would
talking about
plus
something...
infinitive.
An infinitive, which would be the unconjugated form of any verb. So I would bring my friends up in my yacht if they were able to spend their holidays on my island.
I'm sorry that I'm so maybe silly, but I'm afraid I didn't understand because you said that that here should be the present time, but here we see that it is the past time.
Yeah, exactly. Look at number 2 in this chart.
Simple past. I'm sorry.
Exactly. So in type number 1, it is the present. But in type number 2, when we're saying things are less likely, it moves one back, so it becomes the past.
It's like I imagine and or if I could, yeah?
Yeah, it's something less likely than our type number 1 situations. Awesome. Very well done. Any other questions? I know you're getting thrown into this without much practice.
Yeah.
But you did an excellent job.
Okay, I'll see the next people.
We'll keep on trucking here with number 3. And I think we're back to Mauricio for number 3.
We should have great parties if my friends go to my island.
For number 2, type number 2.
Number 2, I use would and the verb in the past tense or infinitive.
Past. For the if clause, we use it in the past.
We should had great parties if my friends go to my island.
So what's go in the past?
Went.
Yes, exactly.
Went to my island. I have to put both in the past tense.
Nope. The first blank is a modal verb plus the infinitive, meaning the unconjugated. So we should have, unconjugated have, great parties if my friends came to my island or went to my island. So the if clause is the part that's in the simple past, and the main clause has the modal plus the infinitive.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much. Next up.
Sorry, Michaela.
Yeah.
The third the stay we should have great parties if my friends.
If my friends went to my island or came to my island, any verb in the simple past.
Okay, thank you.
All right, number 4, Wellington. Wait.
4. Okay.
Yeah.
If we go shopping in a big city, wake up. Okay. If we must if we must go to shopping, if we can.
So first, think about which clause is going to be conjugated in which way. The if clause is going to be the simple past. So, if we, and then a simple past verb in the first blank.
If simple past. If we wow went if we stay if we
You need help coming up with a good verb for that first blank?
Yeah, but what verb?
You could use.
Okay. If we were to go, if we were to go, no.
Okay, that's possible.
If we were to go shopping, if we to go shopping in a big city, we would gone. No, we would bought a helicopter. No.
Okay.
Sorry.
So, you're definitely almost there. The last phrase should be we would buy, because we can't conjugate a verb after a modal verb. They're always in the unconjugated form. So we would buy a helicopter, we would rent a helicopter, we would use a helicopter, anything that's unconjugated. And the first one, you did very well. You conjugated in the simple past, which is perfect. And some other verbs that also work really well there are want or need. So we could say if we needed to go shopping in a big city, or if we wanted to go shopping in a big city. And like you said, we could say if we were to go shopping in a big city.
Okay.
All right.
So, okay. Thank you.
Awesome. And the last one for type number 2, Maria. Go ahead and try it.
Okay. That if my friends' holidays got over, that if my friend's holiday over, but if my friend holidays were over,
Perfect.
I will be very lonely on my lonely island.
Well done. So we've got were in the first blank and would be in the second blank.
Infinitive verb.
Great. Thanks, Maria. All right. We're going on to the third conditional, which is definitely the hardest to conjugate. And this section kind of throws you a funny curveball, which you guys might not actually enjoy. It's the section that talks a lot about sports. So if you guys aren't totally sure what verb to use in these blanks, just let me know and I'll give you a suggested verb, and then you guys will still have to conjugate that verb, but just to help you out with a little bit of the vocabulary. If you guys have questions, just let me know. I'll give you a verb. And as a little review, type 3 conditional, we use the past perfect in the if clause, and would plus have plus the past participle in the main clause. Okay, let's get started. For type number 3, how about Mauricio? Will you do number 1 for us?
Yeah, I will read the phrase and tell blank.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
If the midfielders blank the ball more exactly, our team blank more chances to attack. If the midfielders maybe if the midfielders have been I don't know, have been kicked.
So the if clause is going to be with the past perfect.
Would have kicked or would have kicked.
We don't need would in the first blank because this one's just going to be past perfect. So, for instance, you might be able to use the verb throw conjugated in the past perfect.
What is the verb?
Throw.
Throw? Oh, okay. If the midfielders had thrown
Mm-hmm.
the ball more exactly, or team and the second tense. What is the second tense?
The second one, you're going to use the verb have. Mm-hmm. But you have to conjugate it. So that's unconjugated is the verb have.
Or team would have. Would have more chances. Oh,
yes. Yes and no.
Would have been. No. Would have.
So in that main clause, we're going to use would plus have plus the past participle of have again. So in
would
this
have
case,
had.
Yes, exactly. It's going to be would have had. So if the midfielders had thrown the ball more exactly, our team would have had more chances to attack. Great. Number 1 done. What a relief. This is a tough section, but we are on our way. Number 2, Alexander. Would you like to give number 2 a go?
Okay. The second word would score.
For the second, this one here?
Yeah, score or another one?
Yeah, score could work for the second blank, sure.
What about the first? Would it be appropriate, like run?
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay. If the forwards have ran faster, they would have scored more goals.
The second blank was perfect. Can you repeat the first blank for me?
If their forwards have run faster, they.
You're really close. The verb was right, but that's going to be the past perfect. The past perfect. So not yes, exactly. Have or had run. So if the forwards had run faster, they would have scored more goals. Great.
But I have some questions. So,
sure.
In what cases you use that type? I mean, uh, when you talking about what?
So we've got the three types, and the third conditional is something that's not possible to fulfill because it's too late. So we use the third conditional in a case when the thing is already over. Like earlier, you missed this. You missed the beginning of class, but earlier we said in this last type number 3 conditional here, I would have passed the exam if I had studied. What you're saying to the person is that the test is over and you didn't pass. You already know that you didn't pass the exam. You're just talking about an imaginary situation that could never occur. It's impossible. So that's what we're talking about here. So for your sentence, we're saying that the game is already over and they did not score enough goals. They did not run fast enough. We're just imagining what it would have been like if they had.
Thank you.
All right, number 3, Maria.
It's too difficult. Their motivation will have I need to the verb, and I can use the other words. For example, their motivation would have been perfect if they have no.
You're on the right track.
I know what is the structure, but it's too difficult. Their motivation will have if they have
Do you need some verb suggestions for the blanks?
Yes, please.
All right. So the first blank, I would suggest using something like improve. And the second blank, I would say score.
Yeah. Their motivation will have improved with ed in the end.
Yes.
If
perfect.
they have excuse me, I forget the second verb.
You can say score or make.
Yeah.
Either.
If they have make, because it's make, made, and make.
Made, yeah. So that one's going to be past perfect. So it would sound like this. Their motivation would have improved if they had made
a goal during the first half.
Excellent. Thank you, Maria. Great job. All right. Number 4, Wellington.
Okay. The fullbacks one or the other goal. The fullbacks would have one or the other goal. The fullbacker is the defender.
The fullbacks, it's a American football term. You know, they have quarterback. They've got a fullback too.
The fullback would one or the other goal. if they had blocked their opponent. The full, I'm not sure if it makes sense, but let's go because I don't know what is the action the fullbacks, but the fullbacks would have um, would would have um, would have um, the fullbacks would have um, block one or the other goal, or the other goal, if they have um, fall, uh, if they have uh, have fell, fell their opponent.
As in fall? Is that what you
Fall,
said?
yes, fall their opponent.
Okay, interesting. So I love the verb choice. It was creative. The second one, it doesn't make as much sense just because fall in English, it has it's like an accident. It can only be an accident. If you're going to make another person fall, we say you tripped them. So I know this is kind of confusing because we use trip for something else too, but I can say I tripped my brother, and then he fell. So he fell by himself, but I made him fall. I tripped him. Is that what you were trying to go for with the second one?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Okay.
repeat the sentence.
The fullbackers would have blocked one or the other goal if they have tricked their opponents.
All right. Good. So the last one is had, right? I couldn't tell if you were saying have or
Okay,
had.
Yes,
Yeah.
had.
Okay. Thank you very much. Well done. Number 5, Maria.
It's the goalie. I don't know what is this word, goalie. Up the ball. Michaela, could you explain what is the volley? Volley?
Yeah, so the first blank could be the verb stand. And the second one could be the verb block.
Okay. If the volley have stand up, he will have blocked the ball.
Okay, so the second one was good. He would have blocked the ball.
Yeah.
The first blank could use a little work. Does anyone know what the participle is of the verb stand?
Stood.
Yeah, stood. Very irregular. So if the participle is stood, then how can we rephrase that sentence?
Yeah, it is stood. Yeah. If the goalie is has stood.
Has?
Goalie is singular or plural?
It's singular.
It's singular. Is had. No?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because it's past perfect. Yes, I'm sorry. If the goalie had stood up, he will have blocked the ball.
Great. Well done. Okay, guys, any questions on the work we did so far?
No for now, but in minutes maybe.
All right.
Because the vocabulary is difficult, is new for me, for example, and sometimes I don't understand the several words.
Well, let's talk a little bit about these sports vocabulary words.
Yeah.
What is a goalie for? Where do we use the word goalie?
Goalie.
Which sports do we use this word for?
American football.
American football?
Yeah.
I found in dictionary. It's
Soccer.
hockey. Hockey. Field hockey. This is the player whose chief duty is to prevent the ball or puck from crossing or entering the goal.
Yeah, so someone said soccer, which is right, and it's also for hockey. So either of those sports use the goalie to block. They're the ones right in front of the goal. That's why they're called the goalie. And they block balls or pucks or whatever. Yeah. We already talked a little bit about fullbacks. They're part of American football. And how about midfielders? What's a midfielder? Or what sport do you find a midfielder in?
I found a sport, the section of a playing field midway between goals. Players whose usual position are in the midfield behind the forwards.
Excellent.
Soccer.
Yeah. So we could do soccer or baseball. Both are played in fields. Cool. Any other questions on the sports vocabulary?
No.
Great.
What is a forward in
a forward? This one here, number 2?
In a sport, yeah.
That one is usually used for soccer.
And
I don't even know the details of these sports. I know what sports they're related to, but their specific job is not something I know exactly. I think they're more offensive than defensive, but I'm not.
Michaela, I find a player in certain games, such as basketball, soccer, or hockey, who is part of the forward line of the of the offense. The position played by such a person.
Very cool. Excellent. Maria, your dictionary is very handy.
Yeah, I like it. It's and the name is a Farlex dictionary.
What is it?
Farlex.
Farlex?
Yeah.
Stick it in the chat box. Yeah, go ahead. Question?
Yes, question. What about the word you've just had? Handy.
Handy.
Yeah.
Something that's handy is very useful. So it's good to have on hand. It's handy. It's something that we can use very frequently.
Está na mão.
But is there difference between these two words?
Hold on one second. Sorry about that. So sorry. Okay. So the difference between handy and useful? I would say handy is a little less formal. It's kind of like a cute and casual way to say useful. Does that make sense? So useful is, it's also a very good term, and there's synonyms for sure. But useful is, I would say a little less colorful a description. So if you say it's handy, that's kind of like a more intimate way to say that it's useful. Useful sounds a little more formal or clinical or not as friendly, maybe.
Yes, sorry, I've forgotten. I remembered some question that I wanted to ask someone. So,
Go ahead.
You already know that I like watching Friends. So, in that serial, I came across some words, and it sounded like furial. Yeah, I know what that means. That it means like useless. Yeah. You,
Okay, a word that means useless and it sounds like what?
furial. Oh,
Mm,
sorry.
I don't know.
Okay.
Oh, futile. Or sometimes people say it futile.
Futile.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that means something that is pointless. So,
Like useless, pointless. But it's like handy, yeah, more casual and like informal.
I would say that futile is actually more formal than pointless. It's sort of an academic word.
Mm.
So futile would be like if a situation is hopeless, there's no use in trying because it's hopeless. You would say it's futile, and it's more formal and more academic than pointless or hopeless.
Thank you.
No problem. Great question.
Thank you for explaining.
Sure. Does anyone else have a question right now? It doesn't have to be related to the exact topic. It could be anything. We've got a few more minutes, so if you guys have questions, you're welcome to ask them now.
Only for my answer, the full.
Huh? Sorry, what was that? Hello? Okay. So no other questions?
No.
All right. Okay. So we've got one more minute left, but let's at least answer one of these questions. We've got 3, and you can choose which one you want to answer. If you could go visit a famous person, who would it be? If you owned a store, what would it sell? And what would you have bought if you had been a millionaire? So you can choose which question you're going to answer, and make sure you answer using a conditional, either type 1, type 2, or type 3. You can choose and answer one of these questions. We'll start with Wellington. Answer one of these for us.
Okay. Do you hear me?
Hmm?
Do you hear me?
I don't hear Wellington anymore. So
I try.
Go ahead.
I am trying. If I will I will have been a millionaire. I will have helped poor people.
Excellent start. I've got one correction for you. I'm going to put it in the chat box. You need to take out the modal in the beginning, so you can say, if I had been a veterinarian, I would have helped that. So just take out the modal in the first part.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Maria. Great job. Alexander, give it a try.
Okay. I'll I'll choose I'll choose the third one. Okay.
Mhm.
If I had been a millionaire, I would I would have um, uh, invented something new for the future society.
Okay, great.
Can I use in this case the second type?
Sure, but it kind of depends how. Like,
If I forgot to ask to ask you the question about if I was or if I were.
if I were is more formal. If I was is also possible, but less formal. And that would mean something like maybe it's possible for you to become a millionaire. If you think it's possible, unlikely but possible, you can say, if I was or if I were a millionaire, I would have invented something for the future. All right, thank you very much. And Wellington, welcome back. Did you have a question you were trying to ask me before?
Okay. Yes. What are you? Sorry, I chose the third. What would you have bought if you had been a millionaire? If I were if if I were a millionaire, I would have buy a school for children.
Okay. Good sentence, but I changed your buy to bought. So
Yeah.
if I were a millionaire, I would have bought a school. Thank you very much, Wellington. And Mauricio, you're the last one to go. Give us your sentence.
Okay, I will try the second one. If I want a store, I would sell computers.
Awesome job. If I owned a store, sorry. And what kind of conditional is that you used?
I don't remember the rules. I just used.
All right. Well, you used it well, and if we go back, we can see you use the simple past and the would plus infinitive, meaning that it's the second type. So you're saying that it's possible but not likely.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you all for being here and coming to class, and I hope to see you guys again soon. Have a good night.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye,
Thank you,
Amy.
Michaela.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Bye guys.